If you've been involved in VR or you play something like VR chat for a long time, you might have come across someone that has a headset with face tracking. Watching them move their eyes and mouth naturally in real time, you might have thought, whoa, that is so cool. I want face tracking too. We've all been there before, where we want full immersion and interactions with people in VR, and sometimes we all want to get more out of it. In face tracking, we can achieve just that. There's a lot of headsets out there that have face tracking capabilities, however, it is going to cost you. These headsets tend to be really expensive, with the usual starting price around $1,000 or more, and depending on the headset, you'll need to purchase additional accessories for it. My only guess is that the reason for this is face tracking is a very niche market, or in other words, it only caters towards very specific groups of people, such as businesses, developers, and the social VR crowd. However, this kind of technology can also be used for performance when playing games and applications. One of the biggest features is dynamic foveated rendering, which is a feature where the game will be running at full resolution wherever you're looking at, and everything outside of it will be blurred or decreased in resolution. This will depend if the game or software supports this though, but I could be wrong. Generally, face tracking accuracy will depend on the shape of your face and the kind of headset, as a lot of them are all different. With that being said, I'll be showing you guys some of these headsets that have face tracking or just eye tracking to showcase what these headsets can do. I'm only going to be showcasing the headsets that I personally own and use, and I'm only going to be talking about their out-of-the-box face tracking results. And to get this out of the way, for face tracking to work specifically with VR chat, you're going to need an application called VRC Face Tracking and install the respective modules depending on the headset. The Vive XR Elite's full face tracker. Now, this is an accessory you need to purchase separately with a price of $200. Other than that, the installation is super simple. You connect it to the USB-C port carefully inside the headset and it clicks into place. Afterwards, you do a simple calibration for the eye tracker and use the auto IPD adjustment feature to get the comfortable viewing experience. To get it working for PC, you need the Vive Hub and enable face tracking data to VR chat using OSC. If you want, you can use VRC face tracking with the Vive streaming module for more accurate tracking. Looking at the tracking here, it's a bit rough in its current state, especially when you're squinting. Your eyes freak out and jiggle all over the place. There's also missing face movements in the software like eyebrows and widening your eyes, which you can't move. The face tracker, on the other hand, is pretty good though. You can move your cheeks, your tongue, and do other basic mouth movements. The headset fan turns itself into a jet engine because of the additional processing that is doing with the additional module that's in the headset. What really bothers me about the tracker is the face gasket that it comes with. It's just terrible. You can only use the face tracker with this gasket. It has these rubber light blockers on the side here, but for extended periods of time, it puts a lot of pressure on the sides of my head and puts a lot of pressure on my forehead. It gets very uncomfortable very fast for me, and I wonder how people put up with this thing. Although granted, this tracker is still usable in a lot of cases, but with the results and the terrible face gasket, it's hard for me to look at someone with a straight face and say, here, get this. Personally, I can deal with the tracker no problem, but this face gasket can do a backflip into the trash. The Meta Quest Pro. This is Meta's first headset to feature full face tracking, and because it's all built in, it was commented to be the go-to headset for face tracking at the time. To enable face tracking, you just gotta turn it on in the system menu. Super simple. You then have to go through the settings and calibrate the eye tracker. Personally, the calibration process is pretty cool. It calibrates multiple points to get the accuracy just right. To get it working on PC, it's a multi-step process. So first, you need to have a developer account and enable it in the headset settings in the Meta Horizon app. Next, in the MetaQuest desktop application, enable eye and face tracking over the link in the settings. After that, you need to use VRC face tracking with the Quest Pro module installed and activated before you start. The results here is pretty good for a standalone device. The face tracking is really accurate, so I don't have to be concerned much whether I'm doing anything. Even though it's great, using both at the same time drains the battery much faster even on a link cable because all the additional sensors and cameras that are needed with a rough 1.5 to 2 hours of playtime from my usage. And this headset also recently got discontinued at the end of December of 2024 with no signs of future support so far. Recently, just by word of mouth and looking at a lot of posts online, the face tracking tends to break if some level of moisture or sweat gets inside the face tracking housing. My guess is because of a small little gap between the lenses and the housing, so depending on what you're doing, the sweat can make its way inside, but I'm not sure myself and I don't plan on doing so. This seems to be a widespread issue with more reports recently by ear, so it's another risk you'll have to take if you want one, but if any of you would like to confirm this in the comments down below because I'm really curious about it. Alright, last but not least, the Vive Focus Vision. As I'm making this video, this headset is still new, which officially came out in October 2024, and it's still getting updates, especially for the built-in eye tracker. There's a face tracker accessory which you need to purchase separately for a reasonable $100. To plug in the face tracker, you take off the magnetic cover at the front and simply plug in the face tracker. Just like with the XR Elite, you do a simple calibration and you do need the Vive Hub application with the same button to activate it. Plus, once again, you can use VRC face tracking with the Vive Streaming module to get more accurate tracking. The results here are pretty good so far. Just like the XR Elite's face tracker, there are still missing facial movements we can't do just yet, but from what I've been hearing, it's going to get fixed or improved as time goes on. The facial tracker for it is pretty good as well. You can do the same face movements like you can with the XR Elite's full face tracker. Like I said, this headset is still new, so things will improve over time and we'll have to wait and find out. So that's all of the face tracking headsets that I have, and looking at them all, it's quite a venture going over them. And now comes the important part that I have to answer is, do I recommend any of these headsets for face tracking? I'm going to keep this short and sweet and to the point. The Vive XR Elite's full face tracker? Not really. Even though it's an easy to set up face tracker, the subpar face tracking results and the uncomfortable face gasket makes this difficult to recommend. The MetaQuest Pro. Sure, it's a really good headset with really good face tracking, but with this being recently discontinued and the face tracking having a common hardware issue, it's a gamble you're willing to bet on. If you want to get one today, you'll have to go through retailers if they have one or get it second-handed from selling sites like eBay. The Vive Focus Vision with the face tracker. Yeah, I can recommend it. Even though it has missing eye movements, it's getting updates improving the eye tracking quality, plus it's a widely available headset right now. Now in the end, this will depend on you which headset is right for you, so if you're intrigued on getting any face tracking headset, I highly advise you do your own research because every headset will be different, especially if you want it to work with VR chat. I will tell you though, if you're looking at Vive, you will have to understand how it works in its hardware and software, even in the Vive Hub, so it's something you have to consider. And with that, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. See ya!